Okay, I felt like it was kind of time to check in. Gotten a long way since I've rolled the video last. You can see I've got the railings in with the balusters. All the deck boards are in. I've got to get a couple of rails put in down through here. But I ran out of balusters. I went this morning and picked those up. But everything's looking good so far. I guess something worth pointing out, I'd said I was going to put a block under here and here just to give me my height. And I did that on this first one, but once I got it installed, and even if you were just starting with that one, I really just need to get the height because you want to make sure you're high enough. This is 36.5 inches code in South Carolina. It's got to be at least 36 inches tall, and in between here can be no wider than 4 inches. That's so a kid can fit through there, because nobody wants their baby goats falling off the porch. Anyway, so now that if I had to do it again, I would make a mark here at wherever you wanted it, and then put that 2x4 here, or even drop down 1.5 inches actually to go ahead and get this top rail in, and then get a mark from your baluster to where you're gonna put this 2x4 in. And then once I got all that in, then I just lined them up all the way around so that they're running the same. You know, once you get one end secured, then you just throw the level on there, put the other end in. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Again, I'm gonna work on these posts today, getting those in. I got bolts all the way through them yesterday, but these bolts are too long, and these bolts I tore the threads up getting them in and out, so I got some new bolts. And also I'm gonna set this inside the post a little bit so that this sleeve will drop all the way down and cover that up. And then I'll get my rails running up in the angle going up through there. I'll check back in a few minutes. All right, deck is all done. I think the last thing I was working on was these handrails. So we'll look at those. Everything's finished up. Trim these edges off. I like to come about halfway down and then 45 in. Same thing over here. As far as these handrails, it was tricky. I always have a hard time, or it's just slower on handrails. What I did was I just measured off this bottom step, or level with that post, came up to get, well, I really put the first one in first, or this board in first. Got the top of it at 34.5. Then I went and found an equal spot up here, went up 34.5, and when I put the board on top, it goes to 36. But anyway, got this board in, and I just clamped a full length 2x4 to these posts up here and here, clamped it on the outside, got it where I wanted it as far as the measurements, and then made a mark, and then went to the miter saw and cut it. Then the bottom board, if you do it right, it's the same exact length. And as far as installing it, I already had this board installed, so I got one of my pickets and screwed it in at the top, and kind of let it hang so I would know exactly where I need to put the bottom of that 2x4. And then when I put this board in, the same thing. I clamped it full length 2x4, top and bottom, made a mark, took it to the miter saw. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. I know this was a long series. I'll try to get my editing right, but that's all. Turned out really, really nice. Now it's time to go home and start a fire.